So just keep in mind for like prize money, like doesn't matter how good your idea is, if you can't articulate it or pitch it well, then you're gonna have a hard time like placing higher. And so I just would put heavy emphasis in being able to articulate the message with clarity. So with that tonight, I just wanted to go through best practices around the slide deck. It's actually a lot easier than most think. You need to change the colors, you can change the logo, etc. This is just a general format and the questions that we would highly encourage you to be able to answer. And some, so let's just walk through that. Okay, so first page is like when you come into the room, you'll be sharing your screen, just have your team name and team tagline. And then I would encourage you to do a logo. If you're familiar with Canva, you know that you can quickly, here, I can just go to Canva and I can search for logo. And I can see that here's stuff that I can repurpose. So if I want to change like the number 1, I can do, my company, and that's my logo. So Canvas makes it super, super easy to have like a pretty professional look. So I'd encourage you to use Canva for a logo. Okay, your first slide that you're entering is the problem slide. So I highly recommend like pictures with little text to articulate the problem. Or if you're gonna do more words, have it more bullet points. What we're not looking for is something like this is almost stretching it beyond preference, it's just a lot of words. This way it'd be easier. Here's the problem, blah, blah, and blah. One note as well that I would almost encourage a lot of the groups to do is you can break this out actually into 2 problem slides. So one problem slide could be here is the problem, and then a follow-up with here's why the current solutions are not solving that problem. I know a lot of you right now are like, there's AI technology out there or machine learning, blah, blah, blah. So it's okay to say like, here's the problem we're solving, and here's why AI and ML companies are still not able to solve it even today, which then goes into your service or product. So the second, I guess we're at the 3rd slide now, the service or product should just be telling me what is your service or product. It's more of like the techie side of the description. If it's like a 3-step, like here's how our service works, 1, 2, 3, you can do it in that format. Or it could just be a picture that kind of articulates the point, and you could add extra bullet points. So this would be an example of for the hacking for home building competition, similar to what we're doing now. But it was for one of the problems was around recycling. And so a team was able to use something like this to say, how Whole Foods or certain places separate, the trash so it's easy to organize. We actually want to do something similar. And then they moved into a second slide that kind of just bullet pointed it. So once again, just emphasizing use icons. If you're using Canva, Canva has a bazillion icons, so pretty much anything. So if I had like trash, I'm gonna have an icon, like truckload of icons. So usually there's an icon and some type of brief description. I even think like this is a little bit much for text, but it's okay. The solution. So the solution then says, okay, this was my actual service or product. I want to know, like, what does it actually solve? Like, what are you helping me with? This should be a direct correlation to the problem. Once again, using icons, so it's going to save money or make money or share culture or whatever it might be. And it could be, 3 steps, or it could just be one gigantic. This is the benefits of our service. Okay, so now we're moving into the MVP. So we talked about before in the startup world. MVPs, the ideal. So here, just to be very clear, here we're talking about more of the car. And let me pull up the picture just so we are all on the same page. 1 second. Okay. So we talked about in a prior lesson of how not to start a business, which is you add no value to the status quo until the actual entire car is built. And for those of you working in technology, this could be months, most likely years before you actually get your first version of the product out. we think that that is a success to that's a path of failure, because almost always there's going to be a wrong assumption along the way. And so what we've been hammering home is focus on the scooter or the skateboard in this case. Focus on the skateboard. What's the most basic product you could get out to test to make sure, like, am I actually improving the status quo? Remember, a skateboard looks puny compared to a car, but for someone that has a transportation problem, a skateboard technically does help them move faster. And that's what we're looking for at the end of this competition. What idea do you have? So bringing it back to the pitch, your service or product, it's totally appropriate to say, like, here's what the car is, like, here's what we think the end goal is. But then I'm quickly pivoting to what is the actual MVP? What is your skateboard? What is your scooter? In the smallest idea. In prior competitions, this is where, once again, pictures help. So these guys had like a physical product. They just showed, like, here was our MVP, we built it. If it's more of a digital concept, it's okay to have something more along the lines of, like, look, here's the grand plan, but, like, we're going to start with one feature on the app, and this is what the one feature is going to be looking like. So just, I want to know, and this is really what's going to help define, like, are you a team that can move forward? And we'll go over the grading rubric here in just a second, but this will really help me to understand, like, are you a team that gets the concept of starting small and then building big? Okay, next one is results and feedback. So this says, okay, you have a prototype out there, but did you get any feedback from your stakeholders, from mentors? Like, what did you actually get? Like, tell me what you learned. And then from the last one is just, fine, what are the next steps? So, okay, we built this MVP, it's a single app. We presented it to, Bob at Bob's cybersecurity, and he gave us really good feedback that said, like, we were missing XYZ, or, they actually would be interested in using it, or whatever it might be. And then I just want to know, like, okay, what are the next steps? So if you were to continue on after this week, walk me through. And so that would look something like this, just 3 bullet points. Next steps are, we need to validate XYZ, or next step is, we're going to use XYZ program to build the app, or we're going to do a test algorithm, whatever it might be. And then after the next steps, the last thing is just articulating your team. So this you don't have to spend very much time on this, and you don't need to worry about, like, titles or anything. It's just, just show me your background. Like, essentially, just the way you tie the bridge is, like, you just told me what the next steps are. This is just where you're convincing me that you're the team to actually get this done. And that's what you're going to be graded on. So and then you're going to be moving on to the questions and answers.